Hey guys, it's your girl Lisa here with Real Movie Lovers, and this month is horror month. It is the spooky season, and I am about, I want to say, a third of the way through a 31-day horror movie month challenge with me and my children. We are trying to watch a horror movie every day, which is a tall order because, there's school, there's work, there's all kinds of things that are going on. So this is the challenge. So far, we've been able to do it. We've covered Slender Man, Slither, Ouija. That's such a weird word to say. Ouija board. I just know I ain't about it. I ain't dealing with that mess. Mirrors, It Follows, Unfriended, and the 1980s classic, The Thing. Of course, by the time you guys see this video, I'll probably be most likely more than halfway through our 31-day challenge. So, I wanted to spend this video talking about what my top 10 horror movies are. And honestly, it was a huge challenge because there are several caveats that I have within the criteria for why a movie would make my list. So here's the thing. I love horror comedies. Love, love, love them. The Blackening.
We need a plan.
I'm saying, don't you dare.
Don't say this dumb shit.
We have to split up.
Happy Death Day.
You scared me.
Totally Killer.
What's the big deal? There's a murderer on the loose, and you drove us into the woods. Oh my God! What? I forgot to bring vodka.
Chef's Kiss might be my favorite genre. And I say that because for a while when I was younger, horror was my favorite genre. And then, romantic comedies and whatever. Now I've settled into horror comedies. But this is not what today's list is. I will do a top 10 horror comedies list one. Maybe, maybe the next video will be that. Let me know what you guys think about that. But for this video, it's straight horror. So we're not talking about comedy, okay? And then here's the other thing. Get Out is a 5-star movie. Love it. I don't consider it a horror movie, so it's not on the list. It's more like a sociological, political kind of thriller, comedy, horror movie. It's got so many elements in it. I love the messaging. I love the characters. They're well played, but it's not a horror movie. The idea, socionomical, it's not even a word. I'm just making up words. The social element of the movie is horrific, but the movie itself is not horrifying, so it's not on the list. And Sinners, also another 5-star movie that I love, is not on the list because Sinners, to me, it's not a horror movie. You know what I mean? Like it's awesome. It's wonderful. It's a wonderfully dramatic, dark period piece with horror elements.
What the hell going on?
Oh, we heard tale of a party.
So to me, not a true horror movie. So again, not on this list. And keep in mind that this is my current list today. This list would have looked a lot different 7 years ago. But this is what it is today with me in my time, which is also why it's like your top 10, you kind of have to update them every so often because you change as a person, the landscape changes, and new movies come out that surpass what you knew. So this is what I'm doing today. So let's kind of get into that. Now, keep in mind that it was hard enough picking 10 movies, 10 horror movies. To narrow it down, a genre that I have loved for a long time, to narrow it down to just 10 was so difficult. That's why I had to put in these caveats. It can't be a comedy. It can't be this. It has to have scared me or terrified me in such a way that it sticks with me. Guys, there will be spoilers. So I'm going to try to do timestamps possibly for this video in case there's a movie you wanted to see that you don't want to have spoiled for you yet. That being said, our number 10, the least scary one of them all, is Clown. Don't get it twisted. Least scary doesn't mean not scary. It's just the least scariest of everything on this list. So this movie came out in 2014. And it was a low budget horror film. The budget was $1.5 million, which is pretty low, but doesn't show it. They use that money very well. In the story, a man is, I guess he was a real estate agent of some kind, and he's running late for his son's birthday party, and the clown they hired didn't show up. So he is searching the house that he's got listed, and he finds a clown suit in the basement. He goes, I got it. Now, the person who listed this house, I guess it went up for sale because the initial tenant or owner died. So he finds the suit, he puts it on, and he goes to his son's birthday party as a clown, and everything's awesome. And I guess he falls asleep in the costume overnight. And the next day, he finds that he can't get it off. And what's scary about it is this costume, spoiler alert, is not a costume. It is the skin of a demon. And what I find so interesting about this is it is the original template for clowns. So all the clown lore and the idea of clowns came from the fact that this one demon that looked like a clown centuries ago existed. That lore was awesome that they put in here. And then you watch as this husband, this loving husband and father, slowly descends and turns into this monster. And it is done in such a excellent way. The makeup, the costuming, the special effects, which I gotta be honest with you, I don't see a lot of special effects. I feel like a lot of it is practical. Again, the budget is $1.5 million. They weren't throwing up green screens. It was very practical, and they did so much with so little. And that is what really impressed me about this movie. And the scary thing behind it is the fact that as he's becoming his monster, his taste for flesh starts to heighten, but not just any flesh. It has to be children. So and remember he has his own son. So it is, let me tell you, I'll be honest with you, some kids don't make it in this film, okay? And it is so good. It's not gory for gory's sake. There are a few like scenes where it's like it's like a lot, but it's not gory. So, you're not getting, it's not Saw, okay? And even the color grading of this film, how it's all washed out. Oh, that like aids in, I feel like, the clown makeup and everything. This movie, it was really good. And the scary part is just when you realize that innocents are up for grabs, that heightens the fear factor because kids are not protected. Anyone can get it, right? So that within itself was horrifying and scary. And this is such a good, this movie is so good. I recently watched it with the kids, and let's just say they needed to watch a cartoon after because they were like, it surprised me how scary they found it. And I think it's because of watching this man, this wholesome father, and husband, like just to see what he became, to see what he went after. It is very jarring. It's a lot. And just for the caveat, when I say kids or my children, just know that my children are like, they're 15 and 19. So we're not talking me giving 8-year-olds these movies to watch. So just in case you guys want to try to come for me for bad parenting, it's okay. They're older now. And I watched way worse stuff when I was 6 or 7, which again, don't recommend. Number 9 on the list is A Quiet Place with Emily Blunt and hubby John Krasinski. With this movie, we are talking about the world post an alien invasion. So we open up on this family. They don't talk. They're quiet. They live a very quiet life. There's no noise. There's no radio. There's no music. There's no talking. There's no cars. There's no nothing. And you're like, what is going on with this? And you find out that this is what the world is like after we had an alien invasion where these aliens who have very sensitive hearing, they came to the wrong place, basically kill anything that makes noise. And this movie opens up with trauma for the audience. Now, remember, number 10, we talked about a clown going after kids for, as delicious. He dines on them, okay? This one, we open up to the family. They have, a daughter and 2 sons, a younger son. And let's just say the younger son gets a hold of a toy and they come for them. And these things, they don't want to eat you. They just want you to shut up. Emily Blunt's character is pregnant as well. So we're already setting ourselves up. Like, you are on edge the whole movie. Like, the eerie, unsettling quietness of this movie, it was its own phenomenon. I remember sitting in the theater and not a peep from the audience was quiet. The movie was quiet. It was so quiet the whole time with everything going on that when there was a moment when there was a lot of noise, it was jarring. Like, you were just shot out because you've been in quiet for so long. And I remember, which was so hilarious, that the snack stands this was their lowest sales of any movie premiere, I believe, at the time, because no one wanted to eat loud, crinkly snacks in the theater. Everyone was quiet. I mean, these days I hear that audiences don't have the same level of respect. For this movie, it was no one said a daggone thing. For the next selection, number 8, A Nightmare on Elm Street. We are going back to the 80s, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, with the one, the only Freddy Krueger, the man of our nightmares. Oh my gosh. And that song, 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. 3, 4, better shut your door. 5, 6, get your crucifix. 7, 8, gonna stay up late. 9, 10, never sleep again. Yes, I cannot sing. Shocker. Yeah, not my gift. I know. So this movie, oh my gosh, let me tell you. Now, I know that Freddy has been around so long that he is basically a cartoon character. Okay? Same with Jason from Friday the 13th. Same with Chucky from Child's Play. Like, they have been sequeled and remade into oblivion to the point where it's just a big old jokey joke. But the one that has remained, the movie that's remained, is A Nightmare on Elm Street, because Child's Play used to be on my list for favorite horror movies. Used to be, like, for a while. Used to be. But then it got dethroned. Friday the 13th was it on my list at one point? I don't think it was never really on my list, but it was a huge reason why I never wanted to go camping and never have. As long as you left Jason's camp alone, he ain't bother you. Okay? Chucky is a doll that you have the height advantage on him. You can initially run as long as you know where he's coming from. You see him coming. You know what I mean? And they turned him into such characters because, like, Chucky ended up making a baby with another doll, the seed of Chucky. And Jason went to space and became Super Jason. But Freddy, how do you run away from someone who can kill you in your sleep? And the way that he does it, the way he works your fears against you. And in A Nightmare on Elm Street, let me tell you something. There is this scene in there that is terrifying. No, a few of them. One of them is when Nancy is laid up in the bath, nice little bubble bath, chilling, minding her own business, just trying to relax. And because she's falling asleep, she is going between the realms, and up between her legs shoots up a claw, Freddy's claw. And he is like making his way towards her. And you are just about to lose your mind because you're like, no, what's about to happen? And then There's the whole Johnny Depp scene where he literally falls asleep and Freddie sucks him down into his bed, and then a gush of blood streams up out of there and coats the whole room. This movie is terrifying. Even now, even with the 80s, even if it's from 1984, even with it being that old, it's still terrifying. What, 15 movies later, I mean, a bad remake and all that, and this is the one that still is scary. Not Friday the 13th, not Child's Play, Nightmare on Elm Street. And then other horror movies have given homage to Nightmare on Elm Street. Just recently I watched Slither, which basically mirrored the Nancy bathtub scene, but just with little wormies. Another fun movie to watch. This one's actually a horror comedy. And then the new sequel coming out for Black Phone 2. That whole concept is kind of rooted behind, I forget what his name was, but the guy that was kidnapping and killing the children in the first one, and they were able to end him. He is now invading dreams, which is subsequently Freddy. So yeah. Number 7 is another 80s classic, The Thing. This is with Kurt Russell and the gang. And let me tell you, they're a research team in Antarctica. And they come across an alien life form that's able to change its shape and conform to an organism that it consumes. So it can be a dog. It can be a human. And you literally cannot tell unless it reveals itself to you. And if it's revealing itself to you, it's because it's about to eat you and mimic you. They are isolated. They're out in the snow. They're by themselves. There's no one. Their radio system's down. No one's coming until the spring, which is, I don't even know how long that is. But this thing is slowly like taking them out. Like, it's to the point where they can't trust who is an alien and who is not. Which one is the thing? Because this thing it's not just one. It can break apart and become 5 separate things. That's how this thing works. I recently rewatched it with the children. Again, like I said, on our 31 days of horror movies. So some of these, most of these movies I've already watched. There's a few sprinkled in there I haven't seen yet. That's going to be fun to watch with them for the first time. But that scene where I forget what his name is, which character, but he was one of the doctors, right? Which one was he? Norris. When they're fighting, Norris is like, he hit his head and he's out cold. They put him on the table and the doctor is trying to like revise him. I think Dr. Copper, I think that's the one, because there's a few guys. He's trying to revise him and do the, what do you call him? You know, clear. I can't think of it. He does it, and when he does it, the dude's stomach opens up and bites off his arms. You do not see that coming. It is mind-boggling. Not to mention when they're setting fire to one of the things, the head pops off, grows legs, and tries to get away. It is crazy. Even drops of the blood is slithering away because every part of it is out for survival. Even a drop of blood can contaminate you. Who do you trust when this thing can very effectively image? Like there's no tip-offs. Like, you know how in Invasion of the Body Snatchers, how different versions, there's ways that you can tell maybe they're too emotionless, maybe they don't move right, maybe they talk funny. Not this. The thing is a perfect imitator. You literally cannot tell. And by the end of the movie, we cannot tell. Guys, don't sleep on these 80s movies. I'm telling you, the practical effects
Fucking kidding.
are very good. And in most cases, they hold up very well. Number 6 is a recent movie that was just dropped. I'm going to go with Weapons. Now, this might be just, what's the word? recent bias, I guess you could say. I recently watched this movie twice. So that could be the reason why it's on this list. We'll see how I feel in a few more years when I revisit. But as of today, Weapons is on the list. This movie, let me tell you something. This movie keeps you on the edge of your seat the whole time. And the way that the storytelling is done is so ingenious because you are following different POVs from different characters at practically the same point in time. With each character, you get a little bit more information. So, Weapons, a classroom of kids, except for one, gets up in the middle of the night and just walks out their doors and disappears. And no one knows what happened to them. Their parents don't understand what happened to them. The whole town's in an uproar. The teacher's getting blamed. It's pandemonium. The creepy running characters who don't make smart decisions, I would say. There's a reason why they don't, but still, like, I know for a fact there are a lot of things in the movie that I would not have done. That's just me. Again, spoiler alert, to find out that the reasoning behind children disappearing, behind people doing things they normally wouldn't be doing, is because a witch is involved. And she's the one orchestrating this. And the way she does it, turning these people into like mindless servants. Well, mindless, weaponized servants. Because when she tells you to go, they go. Honestly, the movie only, there are a couple of light moments throughout the movie, but for the most part, it is terrifying, it's creepy, it's scary on the edge of your feet, and it only really lightens up during there's a scene at the end where it does turn a little comical and you laugh, but it does feel intentional. I went into this movie dark. I purposely didn't look at anything and didn't watch anything. All I heard was the premise, and I saw a movie poster, and I was like, that's enough. I don't need any more. Because once you know you're going to watch something, why would you watch more stuff on it? Why do you want more scenes unveiled and spoiled for you? Go in blind. Enjoy it. Now, there is this one really gruesome scene. Principal, he's going to expose the witch. He doesn't know he is, but he's going to. So she goes into his house with him and his partner, and she does her little spell stuff, and he immediately is under her spell. And she has him kill his partner. And he does it in such a gross way. Like, there's black stuff coming out of his mouth, and he uses his head to basically hit him in the head until there's nothing left. Until you can really hear the squishing sounds. Most of the movie isn't that graphic. There's that scene, and there's the end scene. It's a little graphic too, but quick. So if you guys haven't seen the movie, I recommend it. And obviously this is my top 10. So anything on my top 10 list, I'm basically imploring you to check out and watch. Number 5 is a movie that I used to see this movie all the time, like the poster for it, Dead Silence. Back when Blockbuster was a thing, I used to see it all the time. And I was like, it looked interesting, but I just never paid any attention because I just assumed, a part of me just thought it was some B-rated movie, like some little straight to DVD, straight to CD movie type of thing. But when I finally sat down and watched it, it became one of my favorite horror movies instantly. This is part of the reason why Chucky got dethroned, because these puppets are terrifying. All right. So this movie follows a guy who, him and his girlfriend, they're enjoying themselves, and then someone leaves a gift, a puppet, at their door, and the next day his girl is, or no, not even that night, when he goes out, he comes back, his girl is dead, Jim. And not just the regular dead, like her mouth is jawed open in a very scary stance. And I think her tongue is ripped out. So he has to go back home to find out what's going on. That a town that he left so long ago, and that this town is like practically dead. There's really anybody that lives there. He starts to uncover the truth behind what happened to his girlfriend, his father, the legacy of his family. It turns out there was this old lady back in the day who, she was like a little puppeteer. She had a bunch of dolls, because she didn't have any kids. She would show little puppet shows, blah, blah, blah. And at one puppet show, this little kid was being really rambunctious and loud and disrespectful. And, she basically like put him in his place. But then that kid came up missing. And the family was upset, and the family had money and power. So grabbed her up, blamed her, and I think hung her. After that happened, everyone involved, they were slowly murdered. Like, they were slowly killed. Down to their families. I'm talking about wives, children, everything. But in the same way that his girlfriend was killed. Like, mouth open, tongue missing, I think. So Dead Silence is a very good film. And it's horrifying. And even watching it later on, it was still scary and so good. And there is a twist in there. Wait, there's 2 twists. And boy, do they get you. You're like, wait, what? And then wait, what? All right. Number 3. Correction. Number 4. Not sure how I skipped that. It happens. Drum roll, please. Candyman. The 2021 soft sequel. So, let me preface this with the original 1992 Candyman horror movie was already scary. Saying his name 7 times in the mirror, he comes and he gets you. But there's something about the new sequel, the newer sequel, the sequel that came out, that found a way to bridge the story and continuing on and accelerate it in such a way. And I think that it had even more, it had more gruesome scenes that got to you. So for me, it was the scene in the trailer that they featured. 5 high school girls in the bathroom, literally doing the Candyman challenge. Why would you do that to yourself? Like, I don't even care, real or fake. I'm not doing it now. What? No. There's just some things you don't need to open and welcome yourself up to. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like as a guy with a hook coming or anything, but there's just things attached to things. You guys know what I'm trying to say? You don't want to push the envelope. You get what I'm saying? There's enough trouble in the world. You don't want to bring extra spiritual stuff into things. You know what I mean? Candyman has always had social commentary attached to its movies, being about the projects. Dang it, what was the name of those projects? Something green. They were real projects, and there was a whole mindset around the people in that area, and the broken down way, their mindset and everything in their lives. And the movie highlighted that. And with this one, they took that and elevated, because now that area in real life has been gentrified. So now they've kind of talked about how this neighborhood in Chicago that used to be the projects is now, people have come in, they've built their cafes and this and that, and they've upgraded. And so now, it costs even 3 times as much to live there. And the whole area has been built up, and the original residents kind of pushed aside. And the commentary behind this is, the invasion of removing minorities from their own dwelling, their own houses. And Candyman in part one, but in 1992, he was a threat to the residents of that area. And now, here's all these years later, there is a awe and reverence and respect for him now. And now he's after those who are gentrifying the area. And it also talks about the cycle of violence within the Black community in that area and law enforcement. It all comes together. And it's a very horrifying, visually stunning movie in which one of the residents from the first one. Here's the initial connection, guys. Sorry, I know I'm running on a tangent, but in the first one, there was a young mother there whose baby was stolen by Candyman, and the lady, I forget her name, Julie something. She was the target of Candyman's, like, he was pretty much killing everyone else around her. Wanted her for himself. So she sacrificed her life to get that baby back to its mother. And here it is, sequel, and that baby has grown to be a man now, who is played by Yahya Abdul Mateen. He has this connection to that place, and he goes back to it, and slowly but surely, his connection to it gets stronger and stronger, and he himself is turning into Candyman. It is a mind freak, for sure. Like, it is good. So you guys should watch, for sure. Number 3, Smile. Guys, let me tell you, this movie, first let me just say, there are a number of movies in which characters are influenced or forced to self-delete themselves. Like The Happening. M. Night's The Happening, yes. When it was the trees and the plants releasing toxins affecting our brains, making us pretty much end ourselves. Village of the Damned, when you had little blonde-headed children using their brain, their crazy brain power to force you to harm yourself, hurt yourself, or even, again, end yourself. As well as Bird Box, with, the blindfold, Sandra Bullock, same deal. But I have to say that Smile is the most haunting and violent way that I've seen this done. And the way that is passed on is horrific within itself. I don't even know what to call it other than Smile Demon that attaches itself to trauma. And that's how it goes from victim to victim to victim, because what happens is it attaches itself to a victim. It's a long chain. We don't even know where it started from. But, let's say this person is being haunted by the demon. Well, when it's ready and it's fully gotten you out of your mind, it forces you to harm yourself in front of another person. And the person who witnesses that, it now attaches to them and then spends the next 3 to 5 days driving them crazy until they self-delete in front of somebody, and then on and on and on. And we find that it's not just about, well, at least in this movie, it's not just about anybody. Everyone that it attaches to has some form of trauma on them already that makes them a prime candidate for this Smile Demon. And when you're about to self-delete, oh my gosh, when it's fully taken over, this thing climbs into your mouth, and when you see it for the first time, it is wild, because it can be anything, look like anything, but its true face is horrifying. You don't know what's real or what's not real. It just really messes with you. And the way that these actors were so artfully and skillfully able to smile without ever having it reach their eyes, it is haunting. Now, there is a sequel, Smile 2, that they came out with, that is also freaking awesome. It's so good. They up the ante, and there is a scene in there that is just, I literally screamed in the theater when I saw it. But I have to go with Smile 1. The one started off on a smaller scale. Like, you didn't know what you were getting yourself into. There are some scenes in here that are just like, I cannot deal with this. One of them that was very terrifying was when the woman, the main character, she's in the middle of it. She's not sure what's going on. Her therapist comes to her house to see if she's okay, to find out what's going on. They're sitting on the couch talking, and she's trying to help her. And her phone rings. She gets on the phone, and it's her therapist, her real therapist, telling her she's been trying to reach her all day. And then you look at the therapist on the couch, and that smile creeps up, and you realize she's been talking to the demon the whole time, and the demon gets him, starts coming after her. Like, it is so frightening, so scary. Smile ain't no joke. So scary. And you really don't even know what's real and what's not real, because you're from her point of view, so you see what she sees. And number 2, because anyone who knows me knows that I'm a zombie girl. There had to be a zombie on my list. But what zombie movie would there be? Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Living Dead, Zombieland. I thought about it, and I realized I have to go with Train to Busan. You have a father and his daughter going from one city to the next. I believe it was his turn to have her for the weekend. Him and his wife, either they're divorced or estranged or whatever. And he has her. And you can just tell he's not a fully attentive father. He's just trying to do his best. Well, no, he's not. He's a workaholic. He's distracted. He's always pushing her aside, throwing toys and money at her and gifts when what she really needs is time with him. So they ride the train. I forget why they were going there. I don't remember exactly, but there is an outbreak happening and no one knows it. And they're on this train, and one infected person boards the train. So imagine yourself being stuck on a train with a bunch of zombies. Where are you going to go? What are you going to do? And once they get to a point where they've got them sectioned off, they are told on the radio, go here. We have soldiers there to help you. And they're like, okay, great. So they get off. They're going on an escalator. They're going down. And let's just say that when they get off the train, all they see are more zombies. So they get back on the train. It is a very heart-pumping, tense movie. And the story, the characters you're following, it is a lot. It is so much. It is crazy. It is awesome. It is scary. You ain't gonna go nowhere. Where you gonna go? Where you gonna go? Because you're in the quarantine zone. The train is going, but there's only so far you can go. And the zombies are getting more and more and more. They're piling up. They're following you. What you gonna do? So it is very well done. And for our final, number 1 top horror movie for me today, currently. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we started with the clown. We're going to end with the clown. I have to go with the Stephen King's It. I'm going with the 2017 movie, part 1. Let me tell you, the 1997? I think it was 1987 version. It was a 90s TV series, limited, that they did, because this is based off of Stephen King's novel, which I've also read. The novel is scary too. But the series scared the heck out of me as a kid. And then Mr. Andy Muschietti, right? He decides to go ahead and carry that terror into adulthood for me, and makes it, and makes one of the best remakes, which honestly is a separate list that I'm probably going to come up with. This movie was amazing. First of all, upgrading the look of It, Pennywise, making him absolutely horrifying, hiring Bill Skarsgård, who can naturally move one eye to the other side without CGI or any help. That was terrifying. Having this talented group of kids and toss them into this meat grinder of a town where they don't have adults on their side. They have bullies after them. They have a clown after them. They are essentially on their own, in a way, trapped in the situation. The first loss. Hiya, Georgie. Yes, that clown in the sewer when he was coaxing him, and you could tell Georgie was torn between what he should do, and he was trying to listen to his instincts, but then the clown kept coming up with really good arguments to why he should climb into the sewer, and he coaxed him far enough in that out of nowhere he bites off his hand like the change. That was scary. When Richie was in Pennywise's house and he was in the room full of clowns, his worst fear, and the clowns started following him. Oh my gosh, let me tell you, horrifying. At this point, I know it's I assume that most of you guys know about it, but in case you don't, this all occurs. This version occurs in like the late 1980s, early 90s, whatever, where a bunch of kids in a small town are being targeted by a monster that can shift and change shape and be, some of their worst fears. And it basically comes to that town like every 27 years. And it eats kids. I think for about a few months it feeds and then goes back to sleep for 27 years. So this is the next one. This is the cycle. This is technically, this is the cycle where we meet these children who it's trying to, while it's eating other kids, it's really hardline focus on them as well. And the more you're afraid, the more it scares you, the tastier you are. So it doesn't just eat you. Pennywise has to like pretty much turn your worst fears on you. Your worst fear being turned on you. How is that not terrifying? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, again, bringing back Jason. Oh my gosh, a homicidal maniac who's trying to, kill me with a knife. Yes, that is scary. That is scary for sure. But my abusive alcoholic father coming after me might be scarier. I know I'm doing the most wearing a Chucky shirt without actually featuring Chucky on my list. I know. He's been dethroned. Can't do nothing about it. Well, guys, that is my top 10 list of horror movies that are my favorite currently in this year as of right now. Holla at your girl in a few more years and see where things fall or not fall. What are some of yours? What are your top 10, your top 5, or just some of your favorite horror movies? And which ones of yours are on my list? And what ones on my list would you contend, which you wouldn't count? Let me know in the comments. Let's talk about it. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video. I appreciate you so much. And if you'd like to help the channel, please feel free to give me a like and subscribe and leave a comment below. Shout out to my top tier Patreon members. Love you guys. And for the rest of you, I've uploaded a couple of exclusive videos to my writers group that are available to watch for free. So head on over and check it out and let me know what you think. And hit me up on Instagram and TikTok. Links are in the description. See you guys in the next video. Bye.